about them. Diana?
Well, Kelly, this is the model home for what is now the world's largest 3D printed community. And yes, the walls do feel like hard, wide whale corduroy. And yes, they even continue well into the bathroom. Now, Lennar partnered with Icon, which is a 3D printing technology company. They printed 100 homes here, and they actually, believe it or not, did it a lot faster than it would have taken conventionally.
We have a durable product here that if you look at its wind resistance for hurricanes, its fire resistance for fire-worn areas, the ability to adapt modern product to what we need for the future in housing, in building a healthier housing market, is amazing.
Icon started 2 years ago with 2 printers, but grew to 11 printers, and by the second year, they were squeezing out 2 homes per week. Each printer doing the work of more than a dozen construction workers. The systems operated 24 hours a day. The only part not printed is the roof. Now, the homes have all the amenities you would see in a regular Lennar community, and each is solar powered. They come in 2- and 3-bedroom models starting at just under $400,000.
We wanted tall doors, taller ceilings, cement floors somehow, and this home just had everything. So really just a combination of the energy efficiency, the practicality, the price point, and then the aesthetics.
Now, this was an experiment for Lennar, but Miller told me he is all in. In fact, he said they're already in the planning stages for a second community about 7 miles from here, which will have twice as many homes. And now that they've worked out all the kinks, he says both the costs and the times will be cut in half. And just one thing that Icon's CEO told me is that all of this cement that they use in their building and their construction was sourced domestically. So yes, Kelly, it is a housing tariff hedge, if you will.
Right, so there's no lumber used in the construction of that house.
No lumber at all. In fact, the roof, which is not 3D printed, is actually made of metal. So now you have metal tariffs now, so that might be difficult, but there's no lumber in the house really at all.
And what you're standing next to shows the concrete material on the inside as well, so it's not like this is just in the walls and then drywalled over.
No, not at all. This is all the concrete material. It's printed around the outside, the inside. It's how they do the wall systems. And what's interesting, the floor, of course, is also concrete, is they even 3D printed the island in the kitchen. And they used the 3D printer and the technology so that all the outlets were printed around them. So you can put the electrical and the HVAC systems into it, all through these models, which we saw 2 years ago, printing out, really spitting out like toothpaste, this concrete, and doing it really quickly. And they expect in the next iteration of their new printers that they're going to do it, again, much faster and much cheaper than they even did it here. They were working out the kinks here, but, you know, they're ready to go forward with more.
You mentioned $300,000 to $400,000 is the price point. Is that cheaper than, like, lumber-built houses in the area? And do you know, are these accretive to their margins as well? Like, are they even less expensive to build, even at that lower price point?
So I asked Miller that, and he said, look, this was the experiment, and it cost more because they had to work out a lot of the kinks. If you look, this is a huge master plan development, and this is just one small subdivision of that development. The homes are expensive here because they're much larger. So these particularly, this experiment, the homes might be a little bit more expensive. But again, he said when they do the next one, they're going to be much cheaper because they're going to do them faster. They're going to have worked out all the kinks. And a lot of those kinks, of course, involve labor. It involves the cooperation between Lennar and Icon and all their teams. But they're going to be able to use actually fewer workers, only 1 construction worker per printer, whereas now they were using 3. So they've really modernized the systems, and they're going to make them cheaper. Most of the homes in this area are kind of in the $400,000 to $500,000 range, but the conventional homes would be bigger than these homes, again, because this was the experiment.
Amazing. It arrives just at the moment that materials and labor might be in more scarcity going forward. Diana, thanks so much.
Exactly.
An amazing look at what housing might look like in the future. Diana Olek. Coming up, shares of the big 3 auto